Hello and welcome. This is Antonio Gallotti. I'm one of the offering managers of the IBM Cloud Pak for multi-cloud management organizations. And today we are going to look at cost and asset management. Please note, the information contained in this publication is provided for informational purposes only. It is provided as is, without warranty of any kind, express or implied. In today's agenda, we are going to cover IBM cost and asset management capabilities, core strengths, differentiators, and key value proposition that the solution provides to market. Managing IT business activities across hybrid clouds unleash many opportunities but also generate challenges for IT and finance units within organizations. IT departments are looking to asset visibility. They are also looking if applications that are moving from traditional IT on-premise to public cloud web services are working effectively, and also if there are any additional associated costs to that. They are also in the need to find proper cost in order to account for proper budgets to ask to the finance IT organization. The finance IT departments are also looking to how much are the real cost of managing the IT. They're also looking to ways to properly charge those costs internally or even to external customers, and how the costs are going to move over time. They're also in the need to have historical data of cost in order to properly approve budgets or even adjust those budgets. They're also in the need to basically understand how those costs are going to happen and manage over time. So is there a better way or a proper solution that can address these needs? A cost and asset management solution can bring more business accountability value to both IT organizations as well as finance IT organizations. You gain visibility over your assets, you are able to manage the capacity more efficiently, you can save money by limiting invest. You can also establish proactive cost governance across your entire organization. There are key roles and personas that can benefit from a cost and asset management solutions. Chief Information Officers that are looking to how to better manage budget and cost, as well as to have predictable forecasts, but also to ways to basically find cost savings and IT optimizations. The IT infrastructure and operational managers are also looking to how to optimize IT resource usage, but also how to better compare real cost versus the budget that have been provisioned to. Chief Financial Officers are looking to how to best invest or how to better report OPEX versus CAPEX type of costs. They are also looking to flexible real-time reporting of those costs, as well as forecast to some extent. IT financial controllers are looking for insights and potential savings over time, as well as to proper way to either account or to bill on real cost in a showback or chargeback type of position. The IBM cost and asset management help business leaders address IT business challenges. It does provide a great asset visibility. It can discover and gain visibility of IT assets and configurations, identify underutilized or not utilized IT assets, discover and gain visibility of public cloud providers' web services and their utilization. It does also provide the real cost visibility on how current and projected costs compare to budgets, how to best perform showback and chargeback, either based on dynamic grouping and cost derived from custom rates, costing models, or real spending of public cloud providers' web services. From a cost governance perspective point of view, it does allow to establish and enforce control points, either technical or financial based. It does receive and proactively respond to cost usage variances and deviations before they become problems. It does help to optimize, identify vast and opportunities for cost savings on an ongoing basis, receive right-sizing recommendation for IT assets, receive insights and actionable recommendations by public provider for cost savings, and also dedicated optimization insights for reset distances. Let's start with the IBM Cloud Platform Multi-Cloud Management to showback chargeback. It fits into the discovery and visibility across hybrid environments, entry point of the IBM Cloud for Multi-Cloud Management solution. It adds to the visibility and discovery a cost modeling and also the capability to do showback and chargeback reporting. You can basically calculate monetary virtual machine type of charges based on owner or company tags. And the way to define and come to generating chargeback reports or showing back reports is to basically define rate cards for compute storage, disk IOs, network IOs, assign those rate cards in a flexible way, either to assets or tags or company, organizations or business unit or line of businesses, and then generate reports accordingly. From a capability standpoint, the chargeback showback capabilities of Multi-Cloud Management Cloud Pak do allow to have variable and flexible cost modeling rate cards. You can define rate cards for VMs based on CPU allocated and used, memory allocated and used, storage, disk I/O, network IOs. The time frequency is also very flexible, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And also the unit that can be measured in order to apply cost rates can vary from CPU compute utilization to IOs and memory storage. You have also the flexibility to apply rate cards according to various types of currencies. And this flexibility allows to basically organizations that do have cost centers in various types of currencies to basically be accommodated according to their needs. From a rate cards perspective point of view, there is also the flexibility to apply rate cards at fixed cost or variable cost, and also to define tiers model where the rates could vary according to the tier level. In order to generate reports, the chargeback and showback capability of the Cloud Pak do provide the three main report templates that you can use for your own purposes. A template for images, for projects, and for VMs. There are also flexible criteria on how to filter the type of assets and cost that you want to basically aggregate in your chargeback and showback reports, and therefore you can define various types of fields that are ready to use and properly available as part of the templates. And you can also apply different type of formats to those fields. From an allocation metric counting point of view, you can also define if you want to apply the rate to the maximum of the value of the resource being metered or to the average over time. And there are also flexible chargeback type of cost intervals that you can apply on a daily basis, weekly or monthly, as well as start and ending periods for the report itself. So basically you have pretty much very flexible capability to define chargeback, showback reports according to a very flexible rate cards cost modeling count. The type of sample reports that are available for chargeback reports, and this is an example for the VM template, is to basically have reports that do allow to have a cost by VM allocation, or for VM utilization, or even as a total cost of allocation as well as utilization. In order to provide intuitive, easy, and creative type of modern dashboard, we are going to also apply the IBM Cloud Application Business Insight capabilities to our showback and chargeback reporting capability of the Cloud Pak. It does allow IT and finance organization the capability to visualize data that matters most to them, utilization, heat maps, cost, and more. And it does allow to also aggregate data from multiple data sources and correlate them. The iCapi product is already provided with a set of connectors with IBM products and other third-party data sources. And those data coming from those data sources can of course be correlated and aggregated together with the showback and chargeback capabilities of the Cloud Pak itself. We are going to provide therefore the capability to use this type of dashboarding and reporting and visualization over tablets, smartphones, as well as desktops. To provide the capability to have data in real times, as well as alerts, capability to export data in command separated value files, PDF, or for Microsoft SL. And the ability to even launch in context the iCapi dashboards for those customers that would be looking to integrate this dashboarding and visualization type of capability together with their own custom portals. What is the value of IBM Cost and Asset Management solution for public clouds? It does provide an holistic and quick view of how your spending is going and whether cloud activities are meeting budget and performance objectives. It acquires real spending costs from public cloud providers' available APIs, of billing accounts, sub-accounts of your organization, to provide the visibility into cost, analysis of those costs, cost accounting, and cost governance type capabilities. It leverages AI-based logic to provide insight and recommendation to achieve resource optimization and cost savings across most popular public cloud providers. IBM, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are supported. Let's have a look at the cost governance policies and the budget definition that the IBM Cost and Asset Management solution provides. The cost governance policies are being used in order to look at optimization of the IT assets as well as potential deviation from their usage. You can basically identify assets that are older than predefined number of days in order to see if they are eligible for decommissioning or for an upgrade. You have also policies that are looking for overutilization of assets among a certain period of time in order to basically identify assets that should be required to reconfigure with more resources available or a way to distribute workload across more assets. You can also have a policy that is looking for underutilized assets over time in order to basically identify those assets that can either be consolidated or decommissioned. There is also a policy that is going to see and look for utilization drops over time in order to identify those assets that might not be needed or no longer used in order to consider if they can be resized or even terminated and decommissioned. From a budget point of view, you can basically define and allocate budgets flexibly to within your organization as part of your assets or as part of what the organization is using in terms of public cloud web services. And the budget can be applied on a monthly, yearly, or quarterly basis, or even as a custom rule. When budget is allocated quarterly and yearly, it is evenly distributed over months. The budget can also be defined to have a soft or hard quota limit. And therefore, according to the soft or quota hard limit, notifications and visualizations in the IBM Cost dashboard will be visualized in order to basically provide alerts and clearly visible notifications that budget is being increased. Cost and Asset Management solution provides also very flexible filtering criteria and aggregation of data that is going to be used in all reports and dashboards that it does provide. These filtering criteria do allow to basically generate customer reports and dashboards to meet your own needs. The filtering criteria that can be applied are through providers, billing accounts or sub-accounts that are being used for your assets within the public cloud providers, as well as through web services category, where the categorization of the billing data and the utilization data of your assets within the public clouds are automatically aggregated by the IBM Cost and Asset Management solution. You have also the capability to basically define and associate filtering criteria to your tags, where the tags could be custom tags that you have applied in the public cloud provider management space, or could be tags that the providers would be using by default when the provisioning of resources is applied. And these filtering criteria can, of course, may be used in order to generate custom reports and save the filterings in order to basically provide customized views to your own people within your own organization. Now let's see at the dashboards that are meaningful for the IBM Cost and Asset Management solution, but also for your needs. The cost dashboard provides the visibility of cost as they come from the public cloud providers that you are using. They do provide near real-time visibility into the cost across multiple public cloud providers and services, the current and projected cost over time, as well as to the deviation from budgets and trends in order to forecast future costs. They are also able to enforce and provide visibility if there are any deviations from the budget cost that you have defined with the soft quota or hard quota limits. And it is also available as a way to basically, in a very flexible manner, provide show back and charge back or accounting and billing type of purposes across business unit, environments, and applications that are available and used within your own organization. Let's have a closer look at the cost dashboard. The top part provides a summary on the total cost that is coming from the public cloud providers according to the filtering criteria that we just went over. The total number of assets, as well as the assets that might be deviating for the policies that we have also been defined in terms of technical utilization of the resources itself. Utilization drops, overutilized or underutilized type of assets. The central part provides the cost trend over time that basically is coming from the web services that are going to be used within the public cloud providers. It does also provide the capability to see if the costs are going over budget, as well as the capability to see a forecast cost based on historical data and see if the forecast cost is going to go over budget or meet the budget for the next month. So as you can see, basically there is quite a value in the cost dashboard that you can get immediately and visually without going too much into the details of the billing data and the cost utilization data that are coming from your public cloud providers. The same costs can also be grouped by billing accounts or sub-accounts, as well as by service provider, or as well as by category, in order to basically provide the type of immediate need and immediate visibility on how these costs are aggregated accordingly to the type of needs and the type of billing account or asset accounts that are being used. The agent dashboard provides visibility to the asset itself or specifically to the web services that are being used within a public cloud providers. A very conceived and very visual effective heat map is also visualizing cost versus utilization of the assets across the providers. So you get basically near real-time visibility into how the assets are going, their cost, and their utilizations, and to basically proactively respond to variances and deviation before they become problems. And you can also basically get visualization of how these assets are deployed across various type of geographical needs of the public cloud providers. Let's have a look at the asset dashboard more specifically. The summary tab provides what is the total cost, the total number of assets, and the total number of assets that are deviating from the cost governance policies, as we already went through the cost dashboard. The asset trend over time provides how many assets and web services are being used over the public cloud providers. And the heat map, as we said, provided a very glance view on how the cost of the asset is compared versus its utilization. The bigger boxes within the heat map do relate to higher cost, whereas the value color-coded type of boxes do relate to the utilization of the assets, from high utilization to very low utilization. Therefore, within the heat map, you can get immediate visibility or which assets are basically providing the highest cost with the low utilization. And therefore, you can immediately visualize if there is space for improvements. The bottom part also provides how these costs can be aggregated by asset type, as well as by service provider, or where the assets are being located within the public clouds, in order to basically visualize by a geographically location, which are the regions of a public cloud provider where the assets are being used. And we are going to add also a world map widget in order to basically have a better visualization for a nicer view of the location of these assets. Cost and asset management provides also another dashboard that is related to deviation from the cost governance policies that you might have been defined as part of the overall cost and asset management solution, where the policies were capability to see older assets or assets that were deviating for lower utilization or higher utilization or utilization drops. You also get some sort of insights and deviation from other type of policies that can be visualized in this type of dashboards. Another very useful dashboard is the Insight dashboard. This is very key and very valuable in order to provide recommendations on how to optimize utilization of the assets as well as for cost-saving opportunities. Most of the time you don't have visibility in how the web services of the public cloud providers are being used and therefore where cost savings could be achieved. And this insight dashboard is going to provide AI-based type of insight and recommendation that can allow you to achieve cost savings or to find opportunities for cost savings. Let's have a close look at the insight dashboard. The top part provides a summary of estimated cost that you can get by applying recommended insights to the assets that have been part of the analysis and the number of assets that are part of that, as well as the total estimated total cost related to those assets. The central part provided the monthly total estimated savings, the total number of opportunities, meaning recommendations that have been identified for the assets, as well as the total risk type of score that is being accumulated by the single recommendation that have been identified on the asset. The more the risk is, and the higher is the cost-saving type of opportunity. The bottom part provides the list of recommendations that by asset have been identified through AI type of knowledge and base. And these type of recommendations are type of actions or type of opportunities that you can have in order to reconfigure web services or to resize instances or other type of recommendation that are actionable for you to put in place and therefore to achieve these cost savings. The IBM Cost and Asset Management solution provides also a dedicated dashboard for the reserved instances, where reserved instances are very key because they do provide committed type of cost that from an organization standpoint you have committed to with the public provider. And therefore, this type of dashboard is going to provide for reserved instances the comparison of committed cost versus utilization cost, and therefore the dedicated insight and recommendations that by implementing you can achieve cost savings. The type of recommendation that are being provided are if for reserved distances it's better to basically perform and commit and confirm a renewal, or if it would be better maybe to basically go from a reserved distance to an on-demand instance, or basically type of recommendation in order to put on market selling those reserved instances that are not used any longer. Or even for on-demand instances, according to the utilization of the on-demand instances, type of better opportunities and recommendation to move to reserved instances. So these are the valuable insights that the cost and asset management solution can provide for reserved instances and the dedicated dashboard and dedicated type of information. So key takeaway for the IBM Cost and Asset Management solution. It does provide a consolidated view of IT assets and cost, public clouds, private clouds, traditional IT, with the capability to also get into custom cost modeling and rate cards for those type of needs where traditional IT on-premise might be used and therefore where cost modeling could be more appropriate. Comparison of asset cost to utilization in order to identify those assets that could be taken into account for reconfiguration, decommissioning, or termination in order to basically achieve type of cost savings and optimize IT resource utilization itself. Also a list of actionable insights and utilization analytics that are very key and very dedicated to public cloud type of providers and assets in order to basically set and put in place actionable recommendation, actionable type of reconfiguration, and actionable type of insights in order to optimize reserved instances as well as web services that you are using out of public cloud providers. And with this, we thank you very much for attending this session, and we look forward to hear more from you. Thank you very much.